Showtime! The Capital G show starts right now.
What's up YouTube, Capital G here, talking more hero cards. We now know two more of the mass hero effects that are going to be coming out in the Hero Strike Structure deck that's soon to be released in Japan. It's going to be coming out stateside, I believe, by the end of the year. They're actually both very playable. Let's start off with Mass Hero Kamikaze. It's a level 8 Wind Warrior Fusion effect monster. 2700 attack, 1900 defense. Just like all of the mass heroes, must be special summoned by mass change and cannot be special summoned by any other ways. This card cannot be destroyed by battle. While this face-up monster you control is on the field, your opponent may only attack with one monster they control. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle and sends it to the graveyard, draw one card. So this is a good yet sort of a niche card. The stats are fantastic for, you know, a fusion monster. 2800 is going to get over most of what you put in front of it. I find the fact that it can't be destroyed by battle somewhat redundant, but then again, people said that about Colossal Fighter, and look how, you know, he turned out and proved a lot of people wrong. You know, your opponent can only attack with one monster that they control. That's a nice addition. I'm not sure how much of an impact that's really going to be. Then you look at the last part of its effect, which to me seems like it was taken directly from E-Hero Nova Master. If it kills something in battle and sends it to the graveyard, you get a draw. Much like Nova Master, it's incredible when you pull it off, but in my experience with heroes, like, it rarely ever happened. And it does actually have to send something to the graveyard, so if you happen to have, like, you know, Dark Law out, you can't activate its effect. If your opponent has Macro or Dimensional Fizzer, or I guess if it's like a Madoche monster, then you wouldn't be able to trigger its effect as well. I think that the turn that you summon Kamikaze is probably going to be your best chance of pulling off the effect of, you know, you kill something in battle and then you draw a card, because your opponent is obviously going to make adjustments. They're not just going to keep feeding you monsters to run over so that you can just keep going, you know, Horn of the Phantom Beast plus. I think that the card overall is good. It's really good against Bujins, because Bujins is a deck where, you know, they've got Siryu, they've got Crane, they want to kill most stuff through battle. There's Honest as well. I would say that right now, I don't know if I would run this card, specifically because I don't think that there are any good wind heroes to use. I mean, Stratos is still banned. Now, if Stratos becomes legal, then I think that this guy is a legitimate one-of, because, you know, you can go into it using Stratos, and there is the option there. You know, Stratos is going to plus anyway. I would have much rather preferred if this card, instead of, you know, it not being able to be destroyed by battle, if it was like, you know, kind of like Spark Dragon, where once per turn you can put protection on another monster that you control, because the odds of a 2700 beater getting destroyed in battle are extremely low. Next up, we have Mass Hero Kouga. This card is much simpler, but I like it a lot. It's a level 8 Light Warrior Fusion effect monster. 2500 attack, 1800 defense, so the stats are not as good as Kamikaze. Much like all mass heroes, must be special summoned by mass change and cannot be special summoned by any other ways. This card gains X100 attack for each monster your opponent controls. We don't actually know that part. That's the one part that we can't confirm. I mean, I would imagine it's going to be between 1 and 300. I couldn't see it being like 500 or anything. Once per turn, during either player's turn, you can banish one hero monster in your grave, then target one face-up monster on the field. The targeted monster loses attack and defense equal to the attack of the banished monster until the end phase. Okay, so Kouga, on the other hand, is amazing, and I'm really not so concerned about the attack gain effect, because, you know, it's probably going to be something simple like 1 or 200. I don't think that you should expect this guy to go over 2700 attack often. The real and obvious gem here is the effect, which I kind of think is like a pseudo honest. It can be used on both players' turn. It can be used during the damage step, and what's really nice about it is it's not even limited to your opponent's monsters. So, like, you can go summon Neos Alias, right? And your opponent uses Bottomless, and then you just use Kouga's effect, and you banish like a Shadow Mist or a Bubble Man from your graveyard, and you target your Alias, and it's saved. I mean, and not to mention you go +1 in the process. So realistically, I see this guy being a huge damage card, because you can remove any hero fusion that you want. This includes mass heroes that are in your graveyard. So considering you look at the fusion hero monsters, and I mean everything from Wild Tornado, from Great Tornado to Nova Master to Dark Law, I mean just about all of these guys are like 2,500 plus. So this means a lot of the times you use this guy's effect, it's going to take your opponent's monster down to like 0. So in essence, it'll be the same thing as just attacking directly. Now, most of the time, I would assume that you're going to summon this guy by using Neos Alias himself, using Mass Change. So that actually means that the second Kouga hits the field, he's already locked and loaded to dodge a card like Bottomless Trap Hole that we just talked about. You summon Kouga using Mass Change, your opponent's like Bottomless. Okay, well, activate Kouga's effect, remove Neos Alias, that drops my attack by 1900, now your Bottomless just fizzles. I also think because of the nature of how you're going to summon Kouga, that it's going to be hella difficult for your opponent to run this guy over in battle using, well, one attack anyways, because at any given time, you can just banish Neos Alias and their attacking monster loses 1900, so who wants to deal with that shit? Overall, I love Kouga. I think that if you're running mass heroes, it's an absolute staple at 1, maybe even 2, because, I mean, Neos Alias was already going to be a card that you ran in multiples in the deck because it has so much synergy with heroes in general, and you want other good shit to search off of Shadow Mist. But now it's like it becomes even better in the deck because at any point, if you summon a Neos Alias and your opponent uses like a Bottomless, or they use a card to try and kill your Neos Alias and you don't have Spark, okay, well now you can just mass change into this guy and you know that you essentially have like a pseudo Honest built into him, and he dodges Bottomless as well. So I think that Kamikaze is good, not necessary right now. I think that Kouga is amazing, absolute staple, because Neos Alias was already the shit in Heroes, and now it just gets better. So thank you guys for watching. Tell me what you think of this card as well in the comment sections below. Subscribing makes life happy.